Prabhuji,
Hare
it's
Krishna,
done.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji. Welcome to today's class. We'll continue with chapter number 17, the three divisions of faith. We have covered almost half the chapter. Before we start, let us have prayers. Anybody would like to offer for prayers, Mataji? Or
Yes,
Prabhuji?
Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, please continue, Chanda Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shala Chakshurunnilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashataya Deshatarini Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, this is the last chapter. Now, is this chapter modes determine one's activities, faith, and worship in the modes. And we discussed about that was the question asked by Arjuna that what are the activities? In the last chapter, we saw how people are influenced by three modes of material nature so far as their qualities are concerned. That is demonic qualities or divine qualities. And Lord was pleased to answer all these questions, doubts. Then thereafter, Arjuna asked in the beginning of this chapter, chapter number 17, what is how do the people who do not have faith in scriptures or who are totally faithless, in between this, there is a class who have their own worship methods or who are acting neither against the scriptures injunctions nor in the favor. So what is this middle class and how they behave and what is their mode of actions and in fact mode of material nature as well as activities. So Lord is now describing four aspects of such persons. These persons, first aspect is about the food they consume or the ahar. Second, the sacrifices performed by such persons. We have covered this part. Food, we discussed, there are sattvic food, the persons in mode of goodness, what kind of food they eat, what its impact on their life is, and what is the ultimate outcome. So this was discussed in relation to food in respect of mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Similarly, sacrifices performed or yajna performed in mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance, what the characteristics or features were, and also what was their outcome. So food, just anybody would like to summarize what we discussed in food? Food in goodness, food in what it is and how does it taste and how does it affect the human body? We had seen those pictures. Anyway, so food in mode of goodness was juicy, sweet. It was tasty, and it was the result was eating such a food was there was a lot of satisfaction, good health, and also long life, and all development of good qualities in a person. So these were some aspects of food in goodness. And food in passion was bitter, sour, lot of salt, lot of chilies, and it was unhealthy, and it was causing some kind of diseases also. And in mode of ignorance, there it was total non-vegetarian food and rotten food or decomposed food, putrid food, which was cooked more than 3 hours back, and it was causing not only in mode of ignorance, not only disease, but also causing one's derailment from spiritual path. So that was in mode of ignorance. And sacrifices we studied in mode of goodness. Sacrifices were performed as part of duty without any desire for results, and as per the injunctions of the scriptures. That was in mode of goodness. In mode of passion, it was sacrifices were performed from the point of view earning some kind of respect and honor or from society. And also there was some fruitive activity. Sacrifice was a fruitive activity in mode of passion, because person wanted to have some kind of benefit or results by performing sacrifices. And in mode of in mode of ignorance, the sacrifice was totally against scriptural injunctions, and it was neither good for the person who was doing sacrifice or yajna, and nor it was good for the society as such, or the world, nature itself as such. And these were some of the aspects which we have discussed in the respect of sacrifice, and also about the food. Today we'll take up austerity. Austerity is third aspect, which is different for persons who are neither faithful nor unfaithful, but they have their own system of worship. So this is austerity in three modes that is described here. So austerity was initially, before we come to three aspects, it was described what is the austerity of body, speech, and mind. And you will remember the austerity of speech or body meant cleanliness of body, celibacy, and also, celibacy, cleanliness of body, that is internal cleanliness, external cleanliness, and speech was related to talking only spiritual things and keeping away from non-mundane things. And also in the mind, that was in the body, it was worship of the Supreme Lord, and cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, non-violence. We have covered this aspect. Non-violence means that like man, karma, and vachan, either of these, that is neither through mind nor through words nor through actions, one should hurt anybody. That was non-violence. Celibacy meant that brahmacharya, or having faith, being faithful if it is a grahast, then being faithful to the partner, married partner. Simplicity means no pomp and show and no extravagance any kind, leading a very simple life. Cleanliness of internal and external, and Lord worship. Speech related to truthful words, pleasing and beneficial, which do not hurt anyone. And of course, mind related to self-control and non-sense gratification, and doing activities of minds such that they lead to purification of existence. So we have covered this Deva Dvaj Guru Prajna, Pujanam Shauchana Arjavam, Brahmacharyam Ahimsa Cha Shariram Tap Uchyate, that is the bodily austerity. And anidvekaram vakyam satyam priyahitam cha yat swadhyayat swadhyayabhyasyanam chaiva bhangamaya tap uchyate. That was austerity of speech, avoiding offense to anybody. And this this example was Maharaj Yudhishthir. And this was the verse we were continuing with, verse number 16. Yes, Mataji, you may take up. Before Mataji, you take up, I'll just like to admit some of the mistakes which I have committed. In fact, while talking about verse number 16, part 1, I by mistake had mentioned that we are talking about Bhakti Yoga. In fact, it is chapter 16 belongs to Gyan Yoga. And you will remember there was a picture in which some one of the Mataji mentioned that it is Ravana cutting and his body parts and offering to Lord Shiva. I think that was in the previous chapter, yes. So that was not Lord Shiva, that was Bhasmasur, who was doing such a sacrifice or austerity that he was doing such kind of penance that he was offering part of his bodies to Lord Shiva, and that is how Lord Shiva was pleased, and then he gave the benediction that nobody can kill him. But who? Yeah, this is a picture we are talking. This was not Ravana. This is Bhasmasur, and he was offering his body parts, torturing his physical body, and offering his by cutting his body parts to Lord Shiva. And ultimately, Shiva was so pleased with his this kind of tapas that he gave him the benediction that he cannot. But if he puts his palm or hand over the head of anybody, then the person will die. And we know the fate of Asmasura, how he killed himself ultimately. So this is, I'm sorry for this wrong information. So with this, yes, Mataji, Chanda Mataji, would you like to read or someone else?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
verse number 16. Sorry.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Manah prasadas manah manah prasadas saumya tvam maunamatma vinigraha bhava sanshu bhava sanshuddhi rityate tat poman samuchate. And seniority, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purity of thought are the austerities of the mind.
So serenity, being simple, and serene means being always equiposed. One is serene means calm and quiet. That means serene. And simplicity, of course, of simplicity in what we wear, what we talk, and what we, in fact, think about. All this part of simplicity. Gravity means one should not be very proud of himself that he has got earned so much of his spiritual knowledge. He knows so many shlokas and he does, so he can preach all this kind of. The gravity means one should remain attached to the ground level, that he is just eternal servant of Lord, and whatever he knows is just by mercy of Lord. Self-control, of course, control of body and mind, body and senses, and purity of thought. That is most important. Most of us are sometimes or other having this kind of bad feeling. Our thoughts are not pure. Even while we are sometimes in the temple or worshipping deity in a temple, sometimes mind wavers and goes out of the temple and thinks of something which is not auspicious or good. So purity of thought of at every moment of time is required, and that is the austerity of mind. And this picture was narrated by Mataji, one of the Mataji, that Sukdev Maharaj, he was an elevated soul. He, the girls and some young ladies were taking bath, and uh, and, Ved Vyas, you can see on the other end of the river, that is on the bank. And they were, both of them were so elevated souls, so were pure soul, their mind, thought, or actions were so pure that ladies were not, or the girls, young girls who were taking bath in the river, they were not disturbed or they were not distracted or they had such purity of thought that they did not think that they are not in proper dress and some male person is around there. So that kind of austerity is required. What Lord is saying, that is required in the mode of goodness. Now we'll talk about these things furthermore. Yes, Mataji, next verse.
Yes, Prabhuji. Shraddhaya parya Shraddhaya parya tapatam tat tapastatrividham Shibharyukte Satvikam Parikshate. This threefold austerity practiced by men who aim is not to benefit themselves materially but to please the Supreme is of the nature of goodness.
So this threefold austerity. Now we have discussed what is austerity of mind, body, and speech. Now austerity in mode of goodness. What is it? Firstly, it is done for the as a part of worship towards Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can see this Mayapur Parikrama, Govardhan Parikrama, and Vrindavan Parikrama. The people are chanting the holy name of Lord all the time while not distracted by material attraction, total focus on worship of God and some Sankirtana which is going on here. That is in the mode of worship, that is in mode of goodness. Secondly, it is not being done with with the purpose of getting any kind of material benefit. Thirdly, it is just for being done as a part of duty. So it is as a part of duty, as a worship of Lord Krishna with holy thoughts, and also the entire body, they are walking on the sand or they are sailing in the waters. That is pure water. And the sand is also pure because Lord Krishna and Radharani, they had a lot of pastimes in this holy place. So treading these ground, and one must be very careful, should not put on shoes or socks or something, because this place is very, very holy and pious. So most of the people, when they are doing such kind of parikrama, they are barefoot. They don't put on shoes because that will be disrespect to the place where Lord Krishna and Radharani had so many loving pastimes over there. So this activity is being done without any desire for benefit, just so for the purpose of as a service to the Lord and loving worship also. And the second is in the mode of passion. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Satyaka.
Satkarman pujartham tapo दम्भेन चैव यत् क्रियते तदिह प्रोक्तं राजसं चल चलमध्रुवम्. Those ostentatious finances and austerities which are performed in order to gain respect, honor, and reverence are said to be in the mode of passion. They are neither stable nor permanent.
So austerity performed by a person who are in mode of passion, it is clear they want some kind of respect and honor from the society. Their activities are published in newspapers, highlighted, and because they want others to respect them. So they are in mode of passion, but they are not permanent or stable, because they are just temporarily passing a mundane activity. It is a material activity. It does not come under the heading of under the group of spiritual activity. And this is how mudar, the persons who are foolish, who are of low alpabuddhai or low intelligence, they perform austerity in mode of ignorance, and those activities are in fact. Yes, Mataji, please continue, and we'll have some other person.
Yes, yes. Mudha grahena atmano यत् पीडया क्रियते तपः परस्योति साधनार्थं वा तत्तां समुदाहृतम्. And those finances and austerities which are performed foolishly by means of obstinate self torture or to destroy or injure others are said to be in the mode of ignorance.
So we know the examples of Ravana, we know the example of Hiranyakashipu, we know the examples of Kansa, who did lot of sacrifices, austerity and penances by torturing themselves. Even Bhasmasur, we have seen how he tortures himself bodily or physically. But what was the outcome ultimately? He got himself burnt, or they got ultimately liberated by Lord himself. So these activities are uh, totally foolish. They are against the scriptures. They are meant for self-torture, and they are intended, or they are performed to harm or hurt someone else, or themselves. Of course, they are torturing themselves. But the purpose is not holy. Purpose is not worship of Lord. Purpose is not for any purification. Purpose is not for that it is being performed as a part of duty. So they are totally astray. These people are astray from the. So mudha grahanatma manah yata pidaye kriyate tapah परस्योत साधनार्थम वा तत्ताम tamasam udhartham. They are not for in the udharth. That means they are not for the benefit or of or benefit or advantage to self or others also. Yes, anybody else would like to read now? Charity in modes. Now we'll be talking about charity. Charity
I would
means,
like to read, Prabhuji.
yes, Mataji, thank you, Mataji. Thereafter, reach out and Mataji may take us. Swayam Prabha Mataji. So charity in modes.
Yes,
Charity we
Prabhuji.
know. Charity are given in, can be classified again in mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. In a mode of goodness, it is a pious activity. In a mode of passion, it is an activity for self benefit, or it becomes a fruitive activity, and the result is not gained liberation. And in mode of ignorance, it is a waste of time, waste of resources. Yes, Mataji, please take on.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Okay. दातव्यमिति यद्दानं दीयतेनुपकारिणे देशे काले च पात्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतम्. That gift which is given out of duty at the proper time and place to a worthy person and without expectation of return is considered to be charity in the mode of goodness.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanyavad.
So you can see here a devotee, ISKCON devotee is distributing books amongst. So this is a charity. In fact, charity means that he is spreading name of Lord. He is doing as a part of duty, and he is contacting people who are inquisitive, or he want to know, or he is informing to ignorant also. So this activity is in a mode of. Now let us take up one by one. It is given out of duty. That is, in Varna Ashrama, charity is considered to be a duty of a grahast person, and particularly to sannyasis, because sannyasis do not have their own source of income, they don't earn anything. So charity is to be given to as a part of duty. Secondly, there should be no expectation of return, that I shall get some benefit by doing this. When it becomes duty, then duty is discharged without any obligation. Thirdly, right place. Now, where to give? Now, because we in day-to-day life, come across so many people doing different kind of charity to different kind of people. But the real charity, when we go to pilgrimage, or there is an eclipse, solar eclipse or lunar eclipse, thereafter it is recommended in Shastras that one should give charity. One should give charity. So that is the right time when a person can be doing. Or after performance of sacrifice, we give charity to the pandit or the brahman who has done the puja. So that is performed as right time. Second, right place. Right place is like you go to places of pilgrimage. You find out people who are really worthy of your charity, and they are in some kind of torture or suffering, physical suffering or material suffering. If we fulfill those demands or requirements, so then that is a right place to a worthy person. Now a person who is using charity, so worthy person means a brahmana or vaishnava. So they are the and a very poor or destitute who has no source of income or livelihood. Such persons are worthy persons to him. But what, right place, right person, and right time. So these three rights are very important. Fourth point is that as part of duty. Fifth is without any attachment towards the results or benefit done out of charity. So this we have to consider these things. We have to apply our discrimination where, when, and to whom the charity should be performed. If one is particular about these things and considers these facts, then it is a mode of goodness. Yes, Mataji.
The division of faith, charity in goodness. As a duty at proper time and place to a worthy person given out of duty without expectation of return.
So, yes, next verse. Yeah.
यत्तु प्रत्युपकारार्थं फलमुद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं तद्दानं राजसं स्मृतम्. But charity performed with the expectation of some return or with a desire for fruitive results or in a grudging mood is said to be charity in the mode of passion. Hare Krishna, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mataji. So if we can see this picture here, a person is giving some kind of vegetables and fruits to a family who is probably needy, and he is taking his picture also that he is doing this kind of charity. So what he is doing, it is out of his desire to be honored and respected and recognized that he has done this kind of charity. And he wants some kind of recognition or respect or honor from society out of this act, which is in a mode of passion. Secondly, expectation of some return, or some people are donate money uh, and to certain NGOs or certain places of worship with expectation of some kind of fruitive return. That if I offer this so much of laddu or prasadam to Lord, give me a good posting, or give me some good position in my job, or maybe promotion, or maybe examination may be passed by me. So this kind of desire for getting some kind of return out of doing some kind of pious activity, or even counteracting a sinful activity by doing a pious activity, that is in a mode of passion. So this is called, in fact, prayashchit, or we have already talked about prayashchit, or the prayashchit, that such kind of prayashchit is not right kind of thing. One cannot counteract a sinful act by doing a pious activity or a act of worship. And grudging moods meant that one does something very reluctantly and afterwards repents that why, oh, I have wasted money by doing, I could have used this thing, I could have given this thing to in a lesser quantity, or maybe a cheaper thing could have been bought. So this is a grudging mood. So whatever pious action has been done, and it is neutralized by such a grudging mood. And these such activities or such charity are done in the mode of passion. Yes, Mataji. So this is a pictorial description of
Charity in passion, expectation of same of some return, desire for fruitive results, grudging mood.
So in desire for fruitive results also includes that, oh, Lord, I'm doing so much of worship, or may I be elevated to a heavenly kingdom. So this kind of, or some fruitive result, or some kind of recognition, or respect, or honor from society. This all comprises of uh, charity done in mode of passion. So the best thing is that it is my duty to help, or duty to do charity without, I don't expect any result. A proper time, proper place, and a proper person, a worthy person. That is in mode of goodness. Yes, Mataji, this is about mode of ignorance.
अदेशकाले यद्धानमपात्रेभ्यश्च दीयते असत्कृतमवज्ञातं तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्. And charity performed at an improper place and time and given to unworthy persons without respect and with contempt is charity in the mode of ignorance.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Dhanyavad.
Two words are very important: without respect and with contempt. If we feel that we are a rich person, we have so much of money, so many rejected clothes of children or woolens, then we think that the person to whom we are giving is a very poor and downtrodden person, and he is a very needy person. So I should give him this uh, as an obligation, that he will be comfortable. And this kind of thought is not pure. We have to have full respect when you give charity to Brahmana or a person, priest, after doing, he has done some certain kind of sacrifice, then that kind of charity is in mode of goodness. But if we think that this Brahmana is very poor, I have done a great obligation by doing some kind of charity to him, giving some clothes or some money, or maybe some other items of daily life, then it is not out of respect. So person whom we give charity, we think we should thank God that, God, you have given me so much that I am able to serve a poor person like this. So that kind of feeling has to be there. That is, it is an opportunity for us to do the service to a representative who is a person who represents Lord himself. So and there should be respect, and without any contempt. Contempt means grudge or envy. We should not think that he's a person who is a low down in position as compared to me. So that kind of contempt, that kind of feeling is in mode of ignorance. So the best thing is to do charity. In fact, there is a Hindi stanza. It says, somebody asked a great a pious person or a king, why your eyes are always down when you are giving charity to poor persons or your subjects. Then his reply was that लोग भरम हम पर करें ताते नीचे नैन, देन हार कोई और है, देन देत रहत दिन रैन. The person, the देन हार कोई और है, देत रहत दिन रैन, लोग भरम हम पर करें ताते नीचे नैन. He replied that I keep my eyes low so that people may not think that I am the doer or I am the giver. Then har koi aur hai. The God is, it is Lord himself who is giving, who has given me this thing which I am giving to the other person. So log bharam hum par kare tate niche nahi. Replied. So it is such a humble approach of doing charity. This is the best form of charity. Lord Krishna is specified in mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, how people act when they are doing kind of charity. Not only charity, food consumed, austerity performed, sacrifices performed, and now he's talking about charity. So you can see this person who is sitting on a street and he needs money. So people will, and he needs money for weed. Weed is a intoxicant. It is a very common in Western world, and so many students, young person, adults, all those people are so addicted they can't live without weed. It is so intoxicating and habit forming. So, so is it a right charity to give money? Is it the right person and the right cause for which he is asking money? He is not, because giving money to such a person is a sin. Not only it is a charity, it will be called a sin. Yes, Mataji, this picture also please summarize.
The division of faith, charity in ignorance, at impure place, at improper time, to unworthy persons, no proper attention, no proper respect, bound by charity.
So such a charity is binding. That means not only it has harmful effect of the person who is to whom you are giving, to the person who is doing charity, but also it is binding. One degrades down to lower species of life. Thank you, Mataji. Now we'll have another. Richa Jain Mataji, you raised your hand. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Now this is conclusion part. Om Tat Sat. A great definition of Om Tat Sat is given by Lord Krishna here in these verses, these 5 or 6 verses. Yes, Mataji. Richa Jain Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Om Tat Sad iti nirdesho brahmanastri vidha samratha brahmanastena vedescha yagnascha vihita pura. From the beginning of creation, the 3 syllables Om Tat Sat have been used to indicate the supreme absolute truth, Brahman. They were uttered by Brahmanas while chanting Vedic hymns and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme.
Thank you, Mataji. Now this section is concluding section. It has got 6 verses, 23 to 28. Now it describes the right spirit with which sacrifice or yajna or charity means dan or penance or tap or austerity should be performed as a dedication to Supreme Personality of God. It should not be performed, it should be performed as a duty, not for any fruitive activities or other motives. So from the beginning of creation, the 3 syllables Om Tat Sat have been used to indicate the Supreme Personality or Supreme Absolute Truth or Brahman feature. They were uttered by Brahmanas while chanting Vedic hymns. All Vedic hymns which begin with word Om. And during sacrifices, so we know whenever we are doing sacrifice, every syllable, every phrase begins with word Om. And that is Om. The detailed explanation is being given furthermore here, what these terms mean. So Om, basically we will recollect that this is a primeval sound. It is the sound existing since time immemorial, and it is eternal sound. That is why it is called Brahman. There are 3 Brahmans. I think everybody will remember by our past discussion. Can anybody recollect what are those 3 Brahmans which are eternal, called eternal absolute truth?
Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan.
Yeah, Mataji. That is one form. That is the earliest stage of God realization, Brahman. It is also known as eternal absolute truth. Second, Brahman is the living entity. It is also eternal. Nobody knows that when this first living entity came into existence. And third, Brahman is material nature or Prakriti. So these are 3 Brahmans, and what is being referred to here is what Mataji just now mentioned, that Brahman feature is the eternal absolute truth, which is the earliest stage or the first stage of realization of God. From Brahman stage, that is Brahman effulgence, that is Brahman, and then second is Bhagwan, the second is Paramatma feature or super soul feature, and third realization level is that of Bhagwan feature, who is all opulent. And like the analogy of sun, I think everybody will remember the sun god, the sun globe, or the sun planet, and the sun rays. So that is they represent. Sun rays represent Brahman feature. The sun planet or globe represents the Paramatma feature, and the God residing inside sun or sun god is the Bhagwan feature, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Om is the beginning word. Yes, Mataji.
तस्माद् ओम इत्युदाहृते यज्ञ दान तपः क्रिया प्रवर्तन्ते विधानोक्ता संततम ब्रह्मवादिनाम. Thus the transcendentalist undertakes sacrifices, charities and penances, beginning always with Om, to attain the Supreme. Om iti itad brahmano nedishtham nama indicates the first goal. Om means Vishnu. It is placed at the beginning of Vedic hymns to indicate the supreme goal.
Thank you, Mataji. So all aspects, whether it is food, sacrifice, austerity, or charity. Now, how can these be purified? So purification of all these activities is done by chanting of word Om. Om Tatsat indicates basically the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is another name we can say. And Vedic hymns always begin with the word Om. If one does not follow the following scripture regulation and perform these activity, then he will not attain the Brahman or the absolute truth. If one does not follow scripture regulation, eats food, or performs austerity, sacrifice, or charity, then he cannot attain the absolute truth. So the results may be temporary, but they will not last. We have already read this thing that they are not permanent or stable. So conclusion here is that all these activities, that is food, charity, austerity, or sacrifice, they must be performed in the mode of goodness. So Om is derived from Rig Veda, and it means that auspicious beginning, and also it indicates the first goal. Tat Tvam Asi. This indicates second goal. Tat Tvam Asi, that you are that Supreme Personality is that is the Om. So in fact, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, all perform sacrifices to please Supreme Personality of Godhead or Krishna, in fact. So Om Tatsat is basically the basis of Krishna consciousness. That means we have to be aware of Krishna by chanting the holy name every time. And Om means Vishnu also. That is what is mentioned here. It is placed in the Vedic hymns to indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Supreme Goal. So the purpose of chanting Om Tatsat is to remember Lord always. Om means Vishnu. It is placed in the beginning of Vedic hymns to indicate Supreme Goal. Yes, Mataji, 25.
Tad iti anabhisandhya phalam yagna tapa kriya dana kriyascha vividha kriyante mokshkan sibiha. One should perform sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word Tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from the material entanglement. Tat Tattvamasi Chandogaya Upanishad 6.8.7. Tat describes detached work for the sake of liberation. These activities are done with a disregard for material results.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Om reminds the Om Tatsat. First spirit is the Supreme Goal or Supreme Lord. We remember Krishna when we do say Om. That means detachment from material activities or material results. That means not me, you. That describes detachment for the sake of liberation. And Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. You are that you are the super soul, you are the soul. That is the meaning of in fact that indicates that. So all activities, whether we consume food, we do perform sacrifice, austerity or charity, they should be offered without any material benefits or material results. That is what Tat word represents here. Yes, Mataji. Sadbhavi. These are 20, verse number 27. Hindi, English, 26, 27, both are given here together.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sadbhave sadhu bhave cha sad iti itit prayujate prasate karmani tatha sach chabdah partha yujyate yagne tapasi dane cha stitha sad iti chauchyate karma chaiv tad arthiyam sad iti eva bhidyate. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word Sat. These work of sacrifice, of penance, and of the charity, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person, O son of Partha. Sad eva Soumya, Chandogya Upanishad 6.2.1. Sat means eternal. Activities done for the service of Lord reveal the true spiritual nature. In such activity, the performer of action becomes eternal. The activities are aimed at the eternal, and the benefits of the activities are eternal.
Thank you, Mataji. So whatever sacrifice we perform, the objective of sacrifice is to know the absolute truth. And that absolute truth is mentioned here by the word Sat. In fact, Sat means eternal activities done for the service of Lord. So whatever devotional service we are doing is for the Lord, performance of Lord. Not only Lord, but also his pure devotees. They are also, when we chant word Sat, it indicates not only service to Lord, but also service to his pure devotees. And whatever sacrifice is called, that becomes Sat then. Sat means absolute truth. Sat basically means absolute truth. And all words of sacrifice, austerity, charity, they are basically performed to please Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they are also called Sat. So all the Sat stands for all activities. Tat is stood for detachment from material benefits. Om stood for absolute goal or absolute truth or Brahman feature. Om Tat stood for detachment from material, that is no material desire when performing sacrifice or charity or austerity. And Sat indicates absolute truth or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as devotional service performed in relation to his devotees as well as Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that becomes Sat, and it is also eternal truth or absolute truth. So such activities are aimed at liberation. The purpose of doing such activities or doing charity, austerity, sacrifice by uttering of Om Tat Sat means the realization of Brahman feature. Second, no material entanglement or material benefit desire. And third is Sat, that means all devotional service is offered to Lord, which is absolute truth or eternal. So these are the interpretation of three words, Om Tat Sat. Yes, Mataji.
Factually, the transcendental sound Omkara, although a combination of the three letters A, U, and M, has transcendental potency, and one who chants Omkara will very soon realize Omkara and Lord Vishnu to be non-different. CCRD 7.28.
Yeah, this is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 7, verse number 128. And these are Sanatan and Rupa Goswami, you can see here sitting in the forests of Vrindavan. They are writing, and so many commentaries and books have been written by Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, Mathura Mahatma, and so many other katha have been written by these Goswamis, because that was the instruction given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to these Goswamis that go. The 3 instructions were given by Sanatan Goswami to this Sanatan and Rupa Goswami. They received 3 instructions from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First instruction was go to Vrindavana, find out the holy places of pastimes of loving pastimes of Radharani and Sri Krishna, excavate those places. Second was propagate the Vaishnavism, write books on Vaishnavism, and third was promote deity worship by establishing temples. So Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they are one of the 6 Goswamis. They went to Vrindavana and they excavated. What we see in Vrindavana today, there are so many temples, ancient temples of mythological importance and historical importance. They have been, including Radha Kund, the Sham Kund, Radha Kund, and Gopal temple, and this Radha Damodar. So many temples have been excavated and excavated and renovated by these Goswamis. So Om is an eternal sound. It is primeval sound which is existing since time immemorial, eternally in the ether, and it is made up of 3 matras, akar, ukar, and makar. And these matra syllable, the word becomes Om, and Om, when one who chants Om, he is always reminded of eternity and of course Lord Vishnu, because that is a Brahman feature or absolute truth, which is reverberating into entire environment since time and immemorial. So yes, Mataji, this is further explanation of what does this Om Tat Sat represents.
Karanochyate Krishnaha Sarvalokahe Nayakaha. You Karanochyate Radha Ma Karo Jiva Vachakaha. A Karanochyate Krishnaha, the letter Ekara refers to Krishna, who is Sarvaloka Nayaka, the master of all living entities and planets, material and spiritual. The letter Yukara indicates Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Krishna, and Mkara indicates the living entities, that is Jivas.
Thank you, Mataji. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita, when we see the hierarchy of these scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, thereafter Srimad Bhagavatam, and then Nectar of Devotion, and after Nectar of Devotion comes Chaitanya Charitamrita. Life and teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are given in these 3 volumes, Adi, Madhya, and Antalila, and this was written by Krishna Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj. It is a beautiful description of the life and teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this, Krishna Kaviraj Goswami describes the Akar, Ukar, and Matra in the form of Akar represents Krishna, Ukar represents Radharani, and Makar represents the living entities or Jiva. So it is a total, when one says Om, he is not only remembering himself, he is remembering Krishna, he is remembering Radharani, and he is remembering the eternal feature of Supreme Personality of Godhead, which are present in the Jiva. Jiva means here spirit, the soul, and super soul. And Bhut means, Jiva Bhut means living entity. So because living entity, the body is material. And what is spiritual or eternal? Soul and spiritual, the super soul are eternal. They represent Jiva. Jiva means, does not mean a living entity. Living entity is composed of 2 things, soul, super soul, and material body. So then he becomes Jiva Bhuta. Jiva we refer to soul and super soul only. So Om, by chanting of Om, whenever we chant Om, we should be reminded of Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani, and their representation within our material body in the form of soul and super soul. That is how it has been interpreted in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 7, 128. So this is the last verse, Mataji, and it is beautiful chapter comes to end here. Yes.
The previous slide, it is mentioned you as a pleasure potency of Radharani. So, can you just describe, please?
Mataji, when it is just a, in fact, a relative term. A Karnyochate Krishna. When we say A-U-M, that makes Om. That means A represents Krishna. When we say that means we are reciting the name of Krishna, who is Sarvalokik Nayaka. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the chief Nayak of entire universes, master of all living entities and planets, and material and spiritual. So when we say Akar, and Krishna is never there alone. He is always accompanied by Radharani. We know that the goddess of Krishna is always accompanied by goddess of fortune, and goddess of, we will remember in Bhagavad Gita chapter number 2, it was mentioned that chapter 1, sorry, chapter number 1, the signs of victory for Pandavas. One was Krishna was on their side, and wherever there is Krishna, Radharani or the goddess of fortune is always there. Whenever there is Vishnu, Mother Lakshmi is also there always. So whenever we think of Krishna, he is always accompanied by Radharani. That is why Mataji is mentioned here. Ukar means indicates Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Krishna. Krishna is incomplete without Radharani. Krishna, in fact, all the potencies, in fact, in Vaishnava concept of worship, if we think, then the highest position of is Krishna, Krishna. But the Krishna is not pleased unless Radharani is pleased. So the spiritual order is worship of devotees, service to devotees, service to Supreme Person, then service to spiritual master, and spiritual master praise to Radharani. This is the concept here, that first we worship, pure devotees. Pure devotees transmit our prayers to spiritual master. Spiritual master transfers our prayer to Srimati Radharani, who, when is pleased, our prayers are passed on to Krishna. So that is the hierarchy. And is it clear, Mataji? Are you getting my point?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
So without pleasing Radharani, we cannot please Krishna. So Krishna is always accompanied by Radharani. And we remember the example of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, Mother Lakshmi massaging her feet all the time. And in chapter number 1, it was mentioned that what were the signs of victory of Pandavas. One of these points was that Krishna, wherever Krishna is there, goddess of fortune also accompanies him. So that is the indication of victory of Pandavas. So that is the importance of Radharani. And Jeev Bhuta I mentioned. Jeev Bhuta means material body plus soul and super soul. And Jeev, when we talk about the Jeev, means soul and super soul. In entire Bhagavad Gita, whenever they refer to Jiva, Jiva means soul and super soul. It does not refer to material body. So that is how Om word has got Akar, Ukar, and Makar. And it is a syllable. When we chant it, then gradually the sound goes up, and there is a stationary phase, and then gradually a sound comes out. Like this. So it is, you can compare this sound with an aircraft who is coming from a distance and then passing over your head or over near you, and then it goes away. The sound you can listen, it is gradually increasing, becomes stationary at certain point, and then gradually it keeps on decreasing. That is how Omkar should be chanted. And between two Omkara chanting, there is a state of Turiya stage, we call it, in which everything merges into Krishna or Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is complete unity or say integration, that phase. So Akar, Ukar, Matra, they represent it as described by Krishna Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is A represents Krishna, U represents Ukar, Matra represents Radharani, and Makar, Matra, Ma represents living entity or the Jivas. Yes.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
one question.
Yes.
Actually, I have confused because I have read one book. It is Marathi novel, Gyaneshwar. There it is written that AUM. A represent Brahma, U represent Vishnu, and M represented Mahesh. And Hari it's Vishnu, and Om it is Shiv. I can send you one.
No.
It is written in Marathi language.
Yes.
Om AUM. It is Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh.
Yeah. In fact,
That
Prabhuji,
is I confused.
yeah, no, they don't get confused, Prabhuji. There are more than 1,000 interpretation of the syllable Om, and there are thousands of meanings given there. But
Because from since childhood we know that Om is Shiv, and now I've learned here that Om means it is a Vishnu.
yeah, so in fact, you know, we know that how Lord Shiva and Brahmaji and Vishnu came into existence. Now let us go back to the absolute personality of Godhead, supreme personality of Godhead, who is called Krishna, who is called Adi Purush, primeval Lord. He is the source of everything, and nothing existed before him. And that is how we remember. Brahma Samhita said, Ishvara Param Krishna. Brahma Samhita, it is mentioned that Ishvara Param Krishna. Only Krishna is the Ishwar, is the God. And from Krishna, there was Krishna expanded into, then he expanded into Balram, he expanded into Sankarsana, then then Pradyumna, and so this is from first Sankarsana, Karanadakshay Vishnu came, and from Karanadakshay Vishnu, then Shirokdakshay and Shirokdakshay and Karanadakshay Vishnu, Shirokdakshay Vishnu, and third one is Garbhodakshay Vishnu. The three Vishnus came from Sankarsana, and Sankarsana is an expansion of Lord Krishna. So everything is emanated from Krishna. Krishna is the source. So when we talk about, as you said, Prabhuji, Vishnu, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, it is also indication. So there are many, by many holy persons and sages, many interpretation of word Om have been given. So we have to stop very fast. In fact, finish up this, Mataji. We are already past 5 minutes of our time.
Yes, Prabhuji. Ashraddhaya hutam datam tapaspatam kritam chayat asiddhyatyu chayate partha na cha tat pretai nohi. But sacrifices, austerities, and charities performed without faith in the Supreme are non-permanent. O son of Partha, regardless of whatever rites are performed, they are called asat and are useless both in this life and the next.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is a concluding verse by Lord Krishna, that sacrifices, charity, and austerities, and even the food consumed, if these activities are not done remembering Krishna or chanting the word Om Tassat, then they are useless in this world, for the person who is doing, and not for the society. They are not good. No, the person does not get any benefit in that life. In that life means that person does not get any kind of liberation or spiritual advancement if he does not follow these principles. So these activities should be performed with full faith in Krishna and in mode of goodness, whether like activity like charity or food or austerity or sacrifice. So one should do consciously these activities in mode of goodness as part of duty without any future result, right person, right place, right time, and of course, as part of duty without any results or cause. And there should not be any desire for liberation. Wherever there is desire, it is mode of passion. And wherever scriptural injunctions are not followed, it is in mode of ignorance. So one has to remember all these things. I posted the attendance link. Please fill in the attendance link already. I shall post it once again. We will meet tomorrow again and then discuss, take up the, so this is the end of, in fact, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita ends at chapter number 17. Chapter number 18, though it is one of the largest chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is ultimately nutshell or summary or saransh of whatever Lord has said so far on Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So we'll take it up tomorrow. Thank you very much, Prabhuji and Mataji, for your association. And then but from to all of you. Somebody would like to say closing prayer? Chanda Mataji, we started. You are there. Or anyone else?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu ubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, जय प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Excuse me, Prabhuji.
Thank you for your association. Thank you.
Excuse me, Prabhuji. Is
Hare
this the right meeting ID? Hare
Master.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
No.
Is this the right meeting ID for
Yes,
the
Mataji.
children?
Yes, Mataji, just wait. This is for you.
Aditri, beta, wait.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Sneha Singh Mataji. Dhanyavad. Sorry, I
Hare
have
Krishna,
overshot
Prabhuji.
5
No,
minutes.
no